Hello, grandchildren. Today I thought I would talk about the kind of outdoor activities, games that Grandma and Grandpa did when we were smaller. I asked Grandpa what he did, and he said that his family would golf, and sometimes he played tennis, and sometimes they played croquet, and he said they also did fishing. If fishing is a sport, I think it is considered a sport. Not a game so much, I guess, unless you're counting how many fish you can catch, competing with somebody. But those are the things that Grandpa did with his family. I was very involved in games as well. I didn't have a lot of girls in my neighborhood growing up, so I would very often play sports outside. But thinking back to kindergarten and my very first game with other people that I enjoyed playing, and I guess I considered it a game, was holding hands in a big circle around a tree and rotating around the tree as we sang, "Here we go round the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush. Here we go round the mulberry bush so early in the morning." And then there were other verses too, like, "This is the way we comb our hair, and this is the way we wash our face," etc. So that was a fun game. But as I was growing up, and especially in elementary school, I did a lot of baseball playing. I remember every recess, like in fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, I would, as soon as I heard the recess bell, I would run to the baseball diamond, because whoever got to the baseball diamond and touched home base first got to choose which position they wanted on the field. And then that was true for the next person and the next person and so forth. I love baseball. In fact, I still have a scar on my knee from where I slid into third base one time and I got a rock under my skin, but that didn't bother me. I also played basketball for a while, and I was a really good basketball player until I got my glasses. And once I had my glasses, it just seemed like my depth perception was off, and I didn't do so well after that. When I got to college in Ann Arbor, at Concordia in Ann Arbor, I played badminton on the college's badminton team. The PE teacher also who wanted me to play on the volleyball team, only because I was a good volleyball player and only because I followed her instructions in class because I wanted to get a good grade. But I told her no, I didn't want to play because actually I wasn't all that fond of the sport. And lots of times when I played, I would sprain my thumb. So I didn't really particularly like doing that. Then, of course, there was football. And in our next door neighbor's yard, there was often a game of football going on with all the neighborhood children. And it was pretty rough. We would tackle each other. And it was usually divided by ages. So in other words, if I was like 10 years old, there would be another 10-year-old on the other team. And, they would even it up so that if there were 4 teenagers, then we had 2 teenagers on each team. And we would play football. We'd do that for hours. The other outdoor game that my brother and I liked to do was we liked to go and make a fort in an empty lot on Callahan Drive. Mom and Dad might give us something like a packet of potato chips, and we'd have our lunch with us, those potato chips or whatever happened to be in the bag. And we would make a fort behind some dirt or behind some bushes or something and just stay there for hours playing. I'm not even sure what we were playing, but we were having fun. You probably couldn't do that today because there aren't a lot of vacant lots around you, but at that time on Callahan Drive, believe it or not, where Grandpa and Grandma, your great-grandpa and Grandma Freitag lived, there were only about 4 or 5 houses on that street when we moved into the house when it was made. The other thing that we liked to do sometimes was play board games. And our very favorite game was Monopoly. We loved to play Monopoly, and we would play it for hours with the neighbor children. And of course, the other game that we played, because my parents played it, was Pinochle. My parents belonged to two different Pinochle clubs. So 2 nights every month, like one Friday, like the first Friday of the month and the third Saturday of the month, they would go to their different Pinochle clubs. They would also host those clubs so that, let's say if there were 6 couples, then twice a year we would host. And that would be really, really fun, because if they were all at our house, we would be in our bedroom with peanuts and any other kinds of snacks that my parents were serving to their club. But we would get to have our own in the bedroom, and we could stand there and play, and we had a marvelous time. I can't think of anything else right now about games, but I'm sure that you like games. I know that your parents all enjoy playing board games or different kinds of games. Well, I shouldn't say all. I'm not positive about all of them, but I know all of them like to play something, whether it's Scrabble or Carcassonne or whatever all these newfangled games are that you guys play. There were no video games, of course. There was no internet when we were little. In fact, there wasn't any internet actually until, I think, the use of internet by regular people until like after Aunt Dorothy was born. So all that kind of stuff is new. Anyway, I'll leave it with that today. Love all of you.